with this lesson, we're going to build on the idea of what rates are, ratios and that sort of thing, and we have to talk about a very special relationship called proportions. And you've probably dealt with it before, but a proportion is just where two ratios equal each other, okay? So 1/2 equals 5/10. You should be familiar with that. And also 6/18 would be the same as 1/3. It's the idea that if you could take one ratio and simplify it down to the other ratio, you know, if I took 5/10 and divided both by 5, we'd get 1/2. If I took 6/18 and divided it by 6, we would get it down to 1/3. So, I mean, they really do equal each other. It's just one simplified, one's not. Or you could simplify both of the ratios down to as low as it'll go, and they would be the same to each other. And I'm a realist. I understand that at this point in 7th grade, everybody should be able to simplify fractions, but we probably have a higher percentage than what I would be comfortable with not able to simplify a fraction without a calculator. So I'm going to teach you a trick that you could check to see if two ratios are proportion without having to simplify it. So let me get my highlighter out here. What you do is you do this thing called cross multiplying. Whoops, sorry, it's not wanting to highlight. It's wanting to do the pen. So here we go. 1 times 10 is 10. What you do is you take the top left number and you multiply it by the bottom right. It's going to make a crossing thing. 1 times 10, and then write that number right here by the top number that's involved in that multiplication. 1 times 10 is 10, so we put 10 right there. Now we come over here and we go, well, what's 2 times 5? Well, 2 times 5 is 10, and since 5 is the top number involved in this cross multiplication, we put 10 right there. If both of these are 10, then it means it is a proportion. Okay? So, and it works every time. Multiplication is a cool way you can check it. Here's 6 times 3, that's 18. And let's do 18 times 1. 18 times 1 is 18. So I got 18 here and I got 18 there. This is a proportion. That means that the left ratio, the left fraction, is the same as the right ratio, the right fraction. And that's what a proportion is. The left side is equal to the right side, two ratios that equal each other. Okay? So, um, how to tell if two ratios are a proportion? Is 1/2 a proportion to 6/18? Let's go through and use the cross multiplication method. 1 times 18 is 18. 2 times 6 is 12. This is not the same as what I had over here, so it'd be like, no. How about this? 1 times 10 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. See how I've got both 10s there? Why, yes. That means that this left ratio is the same as the right ratio. And let's not lose sight of what we're actually doing. This little shortcut is trying to say, yeah, this is in lowest terms, that's in 1/2. And if I simplify this 5/10, that's a 1/2. So yes, they're the same. This right here, this is in lowest terms to 1/2. This would simplify down to 1/3. Is 1/2 the same as 1/3? No. So are they a proportion? No, because this is not the same as that. But this one, yeah, it's hidden, but if we simplified both of them, they're the same. And without getting into it, we just use that cross multiplication to check to see, are they the same? Okay? So I'm not going to go over that again. Now we're just going to do some practice problems. See if you can solve these with the new lesson that I'm about to switch into. This is a proportion. That means that this left ratio would equal this right ratio over here. But the problem is this m. We have a missing number. Okay? And so what we can do is we can do this thing called cross multiplication, and most people really like this. That's the cool thing. You take the 2 times the m, and you just write it as 2m. You just slide the m with the 2. That means the 2 is multiplying the m. And now we come back through and we say, hey, what's 4 times 6? Put the equal sign here. 4 times 6 is 24. And now here's what we're going to do. Whatever number is sitting in front of the letter, that's what we're going to divide by on both sides. 2 divided by 2 makes it go away, and the m's sitting there. And what's 24 divided by 2? 12. So we've solved for m. Plug it in and see if it makes a proportion. Hey, 12 times 2 is 24. 4 times 6 is 24. Yeah. See, it's supposed to make a proportion. This is a proportion. We just got to find the missing number. So let's go try that again. 1 times 27, right? It's 27. 3, now let me get a different ink color there. 3 times C is 3C. When that letter's involved, we just squish them together. And whatever number's in front, since it's supposed to be multiplying, we're going to do the opposite and divide both sides by 3. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Cancels. And there's our answer. That means that 1/3 is equal to 9 over 27. Doing that little check there, 27 times 1 is 27. 9 times 3 is 27. So yeah, 9 is our missing number. And even though the numbers get bigger, that's okay. 7 times 64 is 448. N times the 56. So we always write the number first and we have the letter right behind it. So 56 times n, 56n. Now we know what to divide by. Divide by 56 on both sides. And suddenly I know that 448 divided by 56 is 8. So 8 equals n. And if I plug that in, yes, it would work out. It would make up a proportion. So our answer is 8. Last one. Even if you see decimals, what I've just taught you is still true. So k times 49.5. Well, we write the number first and the letter second. We just kind of squeeze them together, right? And now 11 times 13.5. This is where you should be thankful you've got a calculator handy. Okay, 11 times 13.5 is 148.5. Do not round. Do not round. Okay, don't make that 149. It didn't say anything about rounding. You have to take the actual answer. And now we can divide by that number that's in front of the k. So the k is free. And once I do this little division problem right here, 148.5 divided by 49.5, we get the answer. And amazingly, it comes out as a nice integer. K equals 3.